Most guys think women want more effort, more texting, more attention, more trying. But there's one counterintuitive shift. The moment you stop doing this, attraction hits different. And once you see it, you'll realize why some men barely lift a finger and women stay hooked. It's late, way too late. Your phone's face down. Screen dark. Room quiet except that low hum you only notice when everything else shuts up. And you're thinking about it again. Not her exactly. The pattern. If this is you, you already know the feeling. You replay conversations you swore you were done replaying. That one message you sent too fast. That pause before she replied. The way her energy shifted and you told yourself, nah, I'm tripping. But you weren't. Maybe this hits closer than you expected because you're not clueless. You're not lazy. You're not some awkward dude who doesn't try. You do try. Too much sometimes. You remember the nights you stayed up crafting the perfect text. The way you held back something real because you didn't want to come off needy. The way you showed up solid, dependable, safe. And somehow that made you invisible. That's the part that messes with your head. Because nobody tells you this growing up. You watch other guys. Not smarter, not kinder, not better, barely lift a finger. And women lean in, love harder, stay longer. Meanwhile, you're stuck wondering what switch you missed. You don't say it out loud, but you've asked yourself some wild questions. Am I too nice? Am I boring? Why does desire show up then ghost? And when you're alone, really alone, that doubt hits different. It's not loud, it's quiet, heavy. Here's the truth nobody shoots straight with you about. Attraction isn't built on what you give. It's built on what you signal without realizing it. And right now, you might be broadcasting the exact thing that kills desire while thinking you're doing everything right. So let me ask you something, and don't dodge it. What if the reason women don't deeply desire you isn't because you're missing something, but because you haven't stopped doing something yet? Let me slow this down for you. Most men don't mess this up because they're weak. They mess it up because they were taught the wrong thing early, and nobody ever corrected it. You were told to be more available, more agreeable, more reassuring. So you leaned in, you listened harder, you showed up on time, answered fast, played it clean. I've been there. I remember sitting in my car after a date, engine still ticking, hands on the wheel, thinking, that went good. And then watching her energy fade over the next week anyway. Shorter replies, less eye contact, that I'm just busy tone that doesn't quite add up. Here's the part most guys miss. Desire isn't built through effort. It's built through self-possession. Women don't lean toward men who are trying to be chosen. They lean toward men who already chose their own life. That's not a line. That's a principle. You can feel it in real moments. When a man doesn't rush to fill silence, when he listens but doesn't chase approval, when he leaves first because he actually has somewhere to be, not to make a point, but because it's real. Most guys think being nice means being flexible, always available, always adjusting. Nah, masculine frame isn't loud, it's steady. It's knowing what you want and not apologizing for it. It's not over-explaining your feelings to be understood. It's being good with someone liking you or not. That's the shift. When you stop managing how she feels about you and start respecting how you feel about yourself. You don't need tricks. You don't need lines. You need weight behind your presence. A life that doesn't pause when someone texts back late. That's what most men misunderstand. They're trying to create desire from the outside in. But it only works from the inside out. And once that clicks, everything starts hitting different. The room's quiet but not peaceful. That low buzz from the AC, streetlight bleeding through the blinds. You're sitting there, phone warm in your hand, screen lighting up your knuckles. Delivered, no reply. You tell yourself it's cool, you're chill. You toss the phone on the bed like it doesn't matter. It does. Your chest tightens for half a second, not dramatic, just enough to notice. You stare at the ceiling. That little crack near the corner you've seen 100 times. Funny how your mind always goes there when you're trying not to think. You replay the night, her laugh, the way she leaned in when you lowered your voice, That pause before she said goodbye, you thought, yeah, that felt real. Then this, you start bargaining in your head. Maybe she's busy. Maybe you texted too soon. Maybe you should have said less, or more, or something different. Damn, here's the part nobody says out loud. It's not the silence that hurts. It's what it makes you question about yourself. Because you've done this before, been solid, been there, played it straight, and somehow desire slips through your fingers like smoke. What if the problem isn't that you're missing something? What if it's the pressure you carry without realizing it? The way you lean forward just a little too much? That thought hits. Heavy, uncomfortable, and you sit there wondering, what if letting go is the very thing that makes them lean in? A lot of guys walk around with beliefs they never chose. They just picked them up from movies, from friends, from that one breakup that still stings if you're honest. One of the biggest ones. If I give more, she'll feel safer and want me more. I used to believe that too, so I leaned in hard, texted back quick, explained myself when I didn't need to. Thought consistency would win. What it really did was drain the mystery. Not because I was wrong, but because I stopped being present with myself. She didn't ghost you. You disappeared from yourself. Another quiet belief. If I'm patient enough, she'll eventually choose me. That one messes dudes up, because patience turns into waiting. Waiting turns into shrinking. You start adjusting your tone, your plans, your energy. You don't lose her. You lose your own presence. Here's a third one nobody likes to admit. If I don't push, I'll lose my chance. Nah, pressure doesn't create desire. It kills it. I remember sitting on my couch, phone in hand, thumb hovering, knowing I shouldn't send that follow-up text, and sending it anyway, instant regret. Felt it in my gut. That's when it clicked. Attention is cheap. Respect is priceless. This isn't about playing games. It's about waking up to how you show up, not forcing, not chasing, just standing where you actually are. That's when things start to change. This is what he understands. Desire doesn't respond to force. It responds to center. The 1% headman isn't rushing. He's not hovering over his phone, waiting for dots to pop up. He sends a text, then puts the phone down and goes back to his life, gym, work, quiet, whatever he was already building. Not because he's playing it cool, but because he's his cool. This is how he leads, with presence, not pressure. When there's silence, he doesn't scramble to fill it. When plans change, he doesn't take it personal. When she pulls back a little, he doesn't chase, he checks in with himself first. He knows panic kills attraction faster than bad timing ever could. There's a moment most guys miss. That half second when anxiety says to say something, do something, fix it. The 1% guy feels that too. He just doesn't obey it. He chooses patience over panic, stillness over noise, clarity over chaos. That's strength. He's not trying to convince anyone of his value. He's living like it's already decided. When he speaks, it's slower. When he listens, it's deeper. When he leaves, it's clean. No lingering, no looking back. That energy hits different. Women feel it before they understand it. Because desire doesn't lean toward need. It leans toward grounded men who don't abandon themselves just to be wanted. That's the 1%. It doesn't happen in some big dramatic moment. No speech. No music swelling. It's quiet. You're standing there brushing your teeth, mirror fogged, light buzzing overhead. You catch your own eyes for a second longer than usual, and something feels off. Not her. You. Quick flashes hit. You canceling plans to stay available. That fake laugh when she went cold, typing a text, deleting it, typing it again. Heart beating a little too fast over someone who wasn't even there. And it lands. Soft at first, then heavy. You realize how much you've been bending, shrinking, breaking your own rhythm just to keep someone comfortable. There's a memory that snaps back hard. You, weeks ago, confident, grounded, joking without trying, before you started measuring every word, before you started chasing vibes instead of leading your life. A thought slips in, almost whispered, why am I auditioning? That one stings. You rinse your mouth, water running, cold, real. Then the other thought drops like a, wait, I don't have to do this anymore. You don't send the text, not to prove anything, not to punish anyone, You just stop, your shoulders drop, breathing slows, the room feels bigger. For the first time in a while, you're back in your body, back in your lane, back to moving how you move. And in that stillness, something shifts. You didn't lose her. You found yourself again. And weirdly enough, that's when everything starts hitting different. You stop, breathe. Notice how quiet it gets when you're not bending for anyone. The phone buzzes. Doesn't matter. The streets hum outside. Cold wind bites your neck. You feel your chest open, shoulders drop, weight lifts you didn't even know you carried. Desire isn't built on effort. It's built on presences. On the guy who stands steady, who doesn't crumble, who doesn't beg. And in that stillness, she feels it, even before she sees you. You don't chase, you just exist. And some women, they can't handle that, because men like that, they're rare. And you just became untouchable.